my darlings. We are on to the last set of notes for this chapter involving rational equations. So this is similar to adding and subtracting where we have to get a common denominator, but I actually find it a little easier because we get to get rid of the fractions after we get that common denominator. All right, so to solve, the first thing we're going to do is find that least common denominator. Once we have a least common denominator, we're going to multiply both sides by that least common denominator because then the fraction will disappear. You'll be left with either a linear equation or a quadratic equation, so you will solve that remaining equation. But here's where you have to be careful. You have to check for extraneous solutions. By that, are solutions that are solutions to the linear equation or the quadratic equation, but if you plugged them back into the rational equation, you'd be dividing by 0, and that's a no-no. Remember, we can't divide by 0, so we always want to check to make sure all of our solutions are in our domain. All right, so here's our first example. I need to find a common denominator. So I have a 6a, a 3a squared, a 3a squared. Well, this first denominator is missing the second a, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom by a. So I get 5a over 6a squared. These two denominators are missing a 2 because 2 times 3 will give me 6. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2, and I get 2 over 6a squared. I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2, so I get 2a minus 6 over 6a squared. I'm now going to multiply both sides of the equation by 6a squared because that way it cancels. Anytime you multiply a fraction by its denominator, then those are going to end up canceling out. So yay, that's the fun part. I don't know why I think it's so fun, but I do. So we're left with the numerator, which would be 5a equals 2 plus 2a minus 6. So I'm going to subtract the 2a, and I'm going to add 2 and negative 6. So I get 3a equals negative 4, and a equals negative 4/3. But let's check our domain. Our common denominator is 6a squared, and that cannot equal 0, which means a cannot equal 0. So we're good. This solution is correct. All right, so that finishes page 1. We're going to do a couple more examples on page 2, and we will be finished up with rational functions, expressions, and equations.